ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let us read from the verse number 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulammadha Shakham Ashvatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavita Adaschordhvam prasutast naruphamasyeha tathopalabhyate nanto na chadir na cha sampratishtha ashvattamenam suvirudhamulam asanga shastrena drudhena chitva tatah padam tat parimargitavyam यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणे. So Lord Krishna is telling us here what is the Vedantic way of going about in search for the truth. The Lord Krishna says that as far as the universe which we are experiencing, as far as that is concerned, what is the nature of this universe? Says that there is nothing final that you can determine about the world or the universe that we are experiencing. You cannot determine what is the beginning. You cannot determine what's the end. You cannot determine what's the middle. You cannot determine what its true nature is. Because what you perceive is not real. What you are perceiving is unreal. Because it is changing every moment. It is perishable. However, it points to the fact that there must be something imperishable. The changing world points to the possibility of something that does not change. The perishable world that we encounter points to something that is imperishable. And therefore, Lord Krishna says, Asanga shastrena drudhena chitva. May you become free from now attachment to this world of names and forms. Stop giving reality to which is not real. Recognize that the world of names and forms that you encounter is unreal or mithya in the Vedantic language. Meaning, which does not have an independent reality. Whatever we see, we will find that depends upon something else. For a Vedantic person, a standard example is that of a pot, a clay pot. You find that a pot is dependent upon clay. Pot is only when the clay is. The cloth is only when the cotton is. The table is only when the wood is. The effect is when the cause is. But then you find that this so-called cause, namely clay, or cotton, or wood, itself is an effect again. It is cause from one standpoint, but effect from other standpoint. So this cause also has a cause. So cotton also has a cause in fibers. So fibers are cause with reference to cotton, but again in effect from other standpoint, that fibers also are made of molecules, they are also made of atoms. In this manner, if you investigate or search for what is the final truth, what is it upon which everything depends? What is it which is independent? Everything that you come across is dependent, depending upon something else, meaning it is there because of something. Nothing that you see enjoys an independent existence, just as a pot does not enjoy an independent existence. It exists because clay is. Clay does not enjoy an independent existence. It is there because the earth is, because the molecules are, because atoms are. So by definition, truth is that which exists independently, which does not depend upon anything for it to be, that is called truth. We will not find anything which is independent, which is self-existing. Everything exists because of something else. Lord Krishna says you will not find it there, out there. So having inquired into the nature of creation, having discovered it goes round and round, there is, even if you want to determine why did a given thing happen, it happened because of this. Why did that happen? Because of that. Why did that happen? Because of that. Why? Because of me. So it will come back to you like Chakratmaka, or at an infinite regression. Because of this, that is because of that, that's because of that, that's because of that. All these logical defects are there, and therefore you can never arrive at the finality. Having seen thus the mithyatvam, unreality of this creation, Lord Krishna says, Asanga Shastra, become detached to that. Now understand that what you are searching for cannot be found from there, that the truth is not out there. Then where is it? So Vedanta says, now turn towards yourself. Vedanta teaches that the truth of the universe is in the one who is searching for the truth. Meaning the truth is not out there. In fact, you who is searching for the truth, you are in fact the embodiment of truth. This is what Vedanta teaches. When it says that thou art, you are the truth. The Swamiji, why should I be interested in truth anyway? I'm quite happy with the way things are without knowing the truth. I'm quite happy. But are you? Because in the heart of the heart, we are searching for something which is truth. In the words of our Swamiji, a human being is searching for the infallible. When the child is born, it is in search of the infallible, and finds that the mother is infallible. What is infallible? That which is trustworthy, that which never fails. It never fails me, which is trustworthy. This is what I want in my life. An infant thinks that the mother is infallible and therefore it is God for him. As the infant grows, his expectations also grow. And a point comes when its mother cannot anymore fulfill his expectations. There is a cockroach. This little child is scared. It runs to its mother. A mother sees cockroach. She also runs. They say, oh, wow. Oh, mother also is afraid. She also runs away. She is not infallible. Then she calls father. Father is a brave man. He picks up that cockroach and throws it. Father is omniscient, omnipotent. He is the infallible. Until a thief comes and father cannot even scream. And he finds, oh wow, he is also scared. He is also afraid. He is also limited. Thus you keep on putting your trust in one thing after the other, hoping that that is infallible, trustworthy, which will not fail you, which is your refuge forever, where you are safe forever, where you are happy forever. You can never find. Because what is itself depends upon something else. What infallible must be that which does not depend upon anything else, which is independent. But here in the universe, everything depends upon something else. So understand that whether you call it truth, whether you call it infallible, whether it's called fearlessness, whether you call security, whether you call happiness, whether you call freedom, they're all the names of the same thing. We want freedom in our life. And you can always search for freedom. So this will give me freedom. If I go to university and get my degree, I'll become free. If I get a job, I'll become free. If I get promotion, I'll become free. If I get married, I'll become free. I have a family, I'll become free. Big home, I'll become free. And thus, in search of freedom, in search of happiness, in search of infallible. But that search, Lord Krishna says, will never get over as long as you are searching for that in something other than yourself. That is the reason why first the nature of the universe was described as that which is constantly changing, perishable. And changing means that it depends upon something that does not change. All change always is based on something that does not change. All movement presupposes a basis which does not move. Just as a train can move only on tracks that do not move, a wheel can turn around an axis that itself doesn't rotate. So rule is that the changing must necessarily be based on the changeless. Where is that changeless? Lord Krishna says, if you look for a changeless and the changing, you can never find it. And it's where you never suspect. The thing is that we can never suspect that what we are searching for, where is it, we can never suspect. Like the 10th man can never suspect where the 10th man is. He is searching for the 10th man, can never suspect that one who is searching himself is the 10th man. We can never suspect that the infallible that I am searching for, the truth, happiness, security, fear, is freedom, is myself. I would never, because I have already taken for granted that I am a miserable, helpless, helpless creature. I am a limited creature. I have taken for granted. I have never taken time to really inquire whether my suppositions or my opinions about myself, are they valid? Whatever I take myself to be, namely a limited being, do I have valid reasons really to justify this conclusion on my part, or have I taken it for granted? We have just taken it for granted that we are limited beings, we are inadequate, we are insufficient. Lord Krishna's Vedanta says that's not so. Tatah padam tat parimargetavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuya. This is that padam, that's abode, that's the ultimate goal, reaching which there is nowhere, no further to go. And where is that? That is your own self, knowing which, gaining which, there is nothing more to gain. But it is true that we have to go to a teacher. Swami, this is what every guru says, this is all to perpetuate Gurudom, that's why you are saying. But they said, there is no way that we can suspect that what we have taken for granted is not real, we have just taken things for granted. So many notions we are entertaining without knowing that they are notions. So many conclusions and opinions and notions I have about myself without realizing that all of them are false. Somebody has to point this out to me. That what you take yourself to be is not what you are. The conclusion that you have about yourself is not the reality of you. That somebody has to point out and somebody has to show how my opinions are incorrect. Logically it has to be shown. Therefore I have to go to a teacher. Tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. The only goal that I have is, so Lord Krishna says, an important requirement for gaining the knowledge is that should become the most important thing in your life. You'll find for many scientists, any great people who made some significant achievements in their life, that they were totally devoted to that. Devoted, dedicated, that was the most important thing in their life, and nothing would distract them from that pursuit. We need not even talk of Einstein and others, of course, but any other scientist also, or anybody who has a certain goal in mind, that goal can be reached only when you are totally devoted and dedicated to that. When you put your whole heart and soul behind that. Similarly also, to know the self, it is important that should become the most important thing for me. That happens when I realize that nothing else really deserves importance. I have so far given importance to many things, not realizing that they were hollow. Outwardly they look something very great and very reliable, but then that they are not. When this is recognized, that's called devotion. The devotion becomes a means of knowledge. That's what I say. Bhakti or devotion becomes a means of knowledge. What is devotion? A total commitment. So he is devoted to something. He is devoted to his business. So we find people devoted, meaning totally committed to that. And nothing else matters to them. It can be money, it can be power, it can be anything. Everything else becomes of secondary nature. Here devotion is that the knowledge is the most important. The self is the most important. Self-knowledge is the most important to you. And nothing else is important. So when we thus see that nothing else is important enough, then it no more attracts my attention, no more distracts me. So this devotion is required so that I have an undistracted pursuit. And in order to attain that kind of a mind, Lord Krishna prescribes a few, in Vedanta prescribes lots of preparations. In one verse, Lord Krishna describes some basic elements of what kind of preparation we need to acquire a mind which is fit or qualified for the pursuit of knowledge. In the next verse, which is the fourth verse, Lord Krishna outlines what are the values or what it is that we should be working for. So let us read that verse. Nirmana mohajita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha sanyai gacchantya mudhah padam avyayam tat. So we say that we want a mind that is devoted to this knowledge, that is devoted to myself, devoted to the self. Right now, devotion I have. Devoted I am. But my devotion is scattered in many things which I consider important. At a given point in time, we are devoted to what is most important at that time. We are devoted. Since so far, the worldly objects and enjoyments and achievements were important to me because I thought that is what success is. And therefore, I have been devoted to those things. So slowly my devotion has to change. And for that, Lord Krishna says, what kind of values and attitude we should cultivate? Healthy values and attitudes, which are conducive to preparing my mind for the pursuit of knowledge or for the pursuit of true happiness. So pursuit of knowledge is the same as pursuit of happiness, the same as pursuit of freedom, not different things. For that, I should pursue happiness where it really is. So far, I have been pursuing happiness from where it is not. I have been seeking freedom where it is not. And it does not happen that right away I will start becoming an inward-looking person. It is going to take time to slowly and slowly mold my mind, change my mind. Like when my car is going at 85 miles an hour, all of a sudden my GPS says, you turn, turn around. You are in wrong direction, so turn around. Now 85 miles, I cannot turn around just like that. I will slow down to a speed where then I can make a U-turn. So to slow down. Then we can make a turn. What is meant by that is that we have to cultivate the values and attitudes that are conducive for discovering true happiness. Meaning that even cultivating these values and attitudes themselves make me happy. Happiness is not different from a value or attitude. If honest is a value, honesty means happiness, understand? They are not different things. If kindness is a value, kindness means happiness. Meaning that by following a value, right attitude of value, you automatically create for yourself happiness. So we can create happiness for ourselves and we can create unhappiness for ourselves. So far my life has been a process of creating unhappiness or sorrow for myself. Even though I find it quite convenient to blame others for my unhappiness or sorrow. This is my mother-in-law, father-in-law, my spouse, my children, my boss, my XYZ, that they are all responsible for causing me sorrow. But really speaking, I create sorrow for myself. Which also means that I can create happiness for myself. So I am right now driving at 85 miles an hour, creating sorrow for myself. Turn around and start creating happiness for myself. It's a very practical thing. Meaning that attainment of limitless or permanent happiness is preceded by discovery of relative happiness anyway. Our Swami used to say that when you are in Himalayas, traveling to Gangotri, which is a wonderful place, not only the destination is beautiful, the path also is beautiful. And so also in this pursuit, not only destination is wonderful, but the path also is equally beautiful. Meaning that not only the destination is of the nature of boundless or limitless happiness, but the path leading to the destination also is of happiness. So who would not want it? People, Swami, how come the whole world doesn't follow this? Because world doesn't know. If we knew where the true happiness comes from, then we would all do that. So here Lord Krishna describes a few things, gives us an outline of what values or attitude we should cultivate to create happiness for ourselves. Only because I am the source of happiness for myself and I am the source of unhappiness for myself, therefore I have to act intelligently so that I become a source of happiness for myself. So Lord Krishna says, Nirmana Moha. Who are these people? The last line says, they become, see the translation of fourth line, they become undeluded and gain that imperishable end. They become undeluded and attain the imperishable happiness. Undeluded, it's an interesting word. Who can become undeluded? The fellow who is deluded. So we start from the point where we are deluded. And becoming undeluded is a process, understand? You do not become undeluded right away, it's a process. Provided we initiate that process, it does not happen automatically, unfortunately. Our Swami used to say that this path of emotional maturity has to be initiated. We have to deliberately do that. And that happens only when we understood the scheme of things. What is the scheme of things? The one that I am seeking imperishable happiness, or I am seeking infallible happiness, or I am seeking limitless happiness. Number two, that limitlessness or happiness is my own nature, meaning I have to discover that as myself and not as something else. Number three, that requires that my mind must become inward looking. From outward looking, the mind should become inward looking. And that requires values and attitudes which are conducive to make my mind inward looking, to turn around. That U-turn. In my life, the values and attitudes that are conducive to turn around my mind and make it inward looking. So Lord Krishna says, so that is called process of undeluding ourselves. Undoing what has been done due to ignorance. So undeluding ourselves and ultimately becoming free from delusion, we reach the ultimate goal, which is the happiness we are seeking. So how do we progressively become undeluded? Lord Krishna, Nirmana Moha. Mana and Moha. Mana means pride and Moha means infatuation. So one thing that keeps my mind extrovert, away from myself, is pride. Becoming free from pride. So what is pride? Pride is when I congratulate myself, when I take credit for what happens, when I think that this achievement is due to me, that I am something, when I judge that I am great because of my wealth, because of my power, because of my fame, because of something else, because of my strength, because of that I am great. I am greater than others, something, and therefore pride. Lord Krishna says, becoming free, this pride always keeps my mind thinking of those which will always, because the pride is, So this proud person always thinks of something other than himself. Of his achievements, of his power, of his influence. All of that is quite opposed to the inwardness of the mind. So this pride is something very false. Pride comes when I take the credit for my achievements. So Swami used to say, this man takes me and shows me his factory and all this creation. Swami, I'm a self-made man. I have made this. Swami says, who has made you? So when we really look into this source of this pride, when I congratulate myself, when I take the credit for my achievements, for my success, then I become proud. But if I look into what all factors went in to make me a successful person, I will find that I have a lot of help. I've always had help from the beginning up to now. I've always had help. No, Swamiji, I am an intelligent person. Who gave you that intelligence? I am a hard-working person. Who gave you that inspiration to work hard? I am an innovative person. Who gave you that talent for innovation? Understand that all of these things are given to us. We have not created our body, we have not created our mind, we have not created our intellect, we have not created the knowledge. It all exists, we have just been given all this to us. How many teachers, how many professors, how many people have in fact contributed to my knowledge, my skills, my abilities? And further, success is because I happen to be at the right time, at the right place. I mean, so many times luck has also helped me. Thus, if I look at really the process by which I became a successful person, I'll find that I have all the reasons to be grateful to a number of factors who contributed to my success. So a realistic person, always an humble person, never a proud person. Pride is only delusion. It only arises on account of ignorance, not recognizing the realities of life. You can enjoy your achievements is one thing. To be proud is stupid because there is no value, there is no basis. What is called for is humility for all the help and assistance I have received, for the grace I have received. Never. The antidote for pride is gratitude, humility. And humility comes when we analyze how any achievement came in our life. We find that we may have some input in there, but lots of input and help came from outside. And even so-called my input also is because of many gifts that I have received. That I was gifted with this body, I was gifted with this mind, I was gifted with this intellect, gifted with this talent. Is it not so? You can enjoy your gift, no doubt about that. But you can't own, you are not the owner of them. It is, you are the recipient of the benefit, it's a gift given to you. Thus, when you look at the reality of life, we become humble. In fact, a sense of gratitude arises. That's how pride slowly and slowly goes away. Moham, infatuation. I'm infatuated to many things which I look upon as source of happiness. Basically, my infatuation is for happiness. And whatever or whoever I think is the source of that happiness, then I become infatuated to that. Infatuation also keeps me away from myself, always directed to what I'm infatuated to. Become free from infatuation by recognizing that there is no content of happiness in anything. It sounds very cruel, but this is the reality. Happiness can only be in consciousness. An inert or insentient thing can never give me happiness. And there's only one thing that is conscious, and that is myself. And therefore, this consciousness that I am is a source of happiness. If I think that happiness is coming from something else, it is only my delusion, then not reality. What do you mean, Swami? I enjoy a movie, it gives me happiness. I enjoy my promotion, it gives me happiness. I enjoy my achievement, it gives me happiness. It is true that when we are experiencing a desirable object or something, it does give us happiness. The question is, where does that happiness come from? Is it that my promotion gave me happiness? My lottery gave me happiness? My business success gave me happiness? Looks like it. Understand that they simply become instrument in bringing me in contact with where the true happiness is. All of these things momentarily bring me to myself. When I am craving for something, then my mind is naturally extrovert, and when I get something I am craving for, my mind momentarily becomes quiet and it becomes inward looking. At that time, I am really enjoying myself. When I think that I am enjoying ice cream, really I am enjoying myself. When I think that I am enjoying a mountain, I am enjoying myself. Enjoying a flower, enjoying myself. Enjoying anything. What does that thing do? It becomes only instrumental in bringing my mind to my own self. If it does not, it cannot give me happiness. It is possible that I got what I wanted and still I do not become happy because I did not get the way I want. I don't want it. Meaning that even something which is otherwise desirable, if it doesn't bring me to myself, there's no guarantee that a given thing will necessarily make me happy. But understand that in every experience of happiness, the invariable is I. Other things are all variable. And they're changing. The one that does not change is I. And that is the source of happiness. But that is a conscious being. So thus when we analyze the experience of happiness, we find that truly I am the source of happiness. You have to look at this. Meaning all of this you have to try to contemplate and discover for yourself. Hopefully I am providing sufficient reasoning or logic for us to understand what I am saying. At the same time, each one of us has to make this our own knowledge. That yes, that is true by my own reasoning, my own experiences. So when I discover that the self is the true source of happiness, slowly the infatuation goes. Nirvana moha jitasanga dosha. And the problem that we have is we easily become influenced by what we come in contact with. We easily become influenced or impacted or colored by what we come in contact with. So when I am in company of my friend, I feel in one way. In company of someone whom I do not like, I feel a different way. I do not decide how I feel, it is the company or who I am in contact with that decides how I will feel. Is it not so? In company of someone whom I love, I feel one way. In company of someone I hate, I feel different way. Meaning that right now I do not enjoy freedom at all, or what my next feeling is going to be. It is the world in which I am in contact that decides how I am going to feel. So it's not become free from that. Jitasanga doshaha. Those who are not influenced by what is around them. Again recognizing that world cannot give me happiness or unhappiness either. It is my mind alone that creates happiness or unhappiness, and thus I must work in becoming free from the impact or influence of what is around me, meaning that I must learn to maintain a poise of my mind regardless of whether I am in presence of the pleasant or the unpleasant. Vinivritta kamaha, those who are free from cravings. Craving for something, because that is also looked upon as an object of happiness or security. Again, inquiring whether does that really give me happiness. Dvandvaihi vimuktaha sukha dukkha sanyaihi. Those who are not impacted by the changing situations. Earlier we talked about specifically people whom we love or whom we hate. But even in life also we constantly confront the situations that are constantly changing. This world is characterized by what we call dvandva or pairs of opposites. That the world keeps on presenting before me all these opposite situations. Like a wheel that goes from down to up. Nichair gacchati, uparicha dasha, chakra nemi kramena. So like a rim of the wheel goes from up to down and down to up. So now, situation is favorable. Next, unfavorable. Now, success. Next, failure. Now, pleasure. Then, pain. Now, comfort. Then discomfort. Now honor. Then dishonor. This constantly changing opposite situations, they always create a lot of tension in me. Because I cannot predict what the next situation is going to be. If I am always confronted with success, wonderful. But no, failure has to come. If there is a failure constantly, I will get used to that also. Human mind can get used to anything. Discomfort also constantly there, I'll get used to it. There are water shortages in the world, people who travel 6 kilometers to fetch some water, they get used to that. They live in 110 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, they get used to that. If it is consistently there. But today 110 degrees and tomorrow 75 degrees, then 90 degrees, then you cannot deal with that. That is how the life is, constantly changing. Meaning that presenting these totally opposite situations. Now success comes and then failure comes. Somebody honors me, dishonors me. Somebody talks with me, stops talking with me. And constant, that's called dvandva. And we are constantly impacted by them. When favorable comes, I become happy. Unfavorable comes, I become unhappy. So what my next mood is going to be is not determined by me, it is determined by what situation I come across. Lord Krishna says, become free from the influence of these pairs of opposites. Let them come and go. Lord Krishna says, Tam Stitikshasva. Hey Arjuna, this will keep on coming. Success also will come, failure, everything will come. But what comes also goes, and therefore let them come and go. Let it be, whatever it is. Let them come and go. You do not interfere with them, then only you can be focused on yourself. Otherwise, this will take away all your attention. Normally what we do is we always retaliate. If discomfort comes, I immediately do something to make it comfortable. If little warm heat comes, I start. If little cold comes, I wrap myself. Moment something comes, immediately I retaliate. You tell me something, I retaliate. I tell you, you tell me one thing, I tell you two things. Retaliation. Don't retaliate. Don't change. But discomfort, learn to, this is called forbearance. So titiksha, or put up with them, bear with them. Meaning that you slowly raise your level of forbearance. Don't become so sensitive that every little thing disturbs you. People are so touchy that you don't know, how to relate to them. Every little thing so much disturbs them. You smile at them also, they wonder, and if you don't smile, then also, you don't know what to do. It's like walking on eggshells, Don't become like that. Tam Stitikshasva, Lord Krishna says, put up with them, bear with them. Do not waste your time and energy in constantly rearranging things, because we are constantly trying to make things perfect and comfortable to us, but then they change. Again I try to do something. Like many years ago when I came to United States, I was new, and a friend of mine took me for a ride in his car. This is many years ago when air conditioner, etc. was very new. Now it is, you can't have a car without an air conditioner, more or less. But those days it was new. You especially pay for, to have an air conditioner in your car. Some of you may remember that. So this friend of mine had this new car with an air conditioner, weather control, very proud of his car, and he was taking me for a ride along the Hudson River on a very beautiful scenic route. And then he says, look, that time I was not Swami, I was a regular person. I'm a regular person now also, but that time it is this, I was not wearing these clothes. Look at this knob, if you turn this way, become warmer. Turn that way, become cooler. So make it comfortable for yourself. It's something new to me. And so I said, let me try this. Make it a little cooler. And then the sun came out and became warm, and so I turned this way, and then I become cool, and then clouds came, and then become silent, middle, warmer, and then again sun. It keeps on changing. I keep on turning that knob, to trying to make it comfortable. After 45 minutes, my friend asked me, how did you like? I said, what? Hey, you didn't see, we passed through such beautiful places, all scenic. Just busy turning knobs, that's all I was. That is what we do in our life. Keep on turning knob, make it this way, and it turns and that way. Lord Krishna says, put up with it. Heat or cold, meaning that comfort, discomfort, learn also to bear with them. Otherwise, you will always distract your attention. And secondly, recognize that it's all, if you are a bhakta of Bhagavan, devotee, then you can say, this is all Ishvara's creation. He gives me happiness, thank you. Gives me unhappiness, thank you. I accept it all as his prasada, and then also I maintain a graceful state of my mind. But all the time Vedanta or Bhagavad Gita talks about maintaining equanimity of the mind in the face of these changing situations. The famous statement is, Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Here Arjuna, maintaining sameness of the mind in success and failure, in pleasure and pain, in all these pairs of opposites, maintaining equanimity of the mind. That's called yoga. Because then only the mind can be thinking mind, contemplating mind. Otherwise, mind remains always disturbed by external situations. When all this happens, then adhyatma nityaha. Then you can put your mind to the contemplation upon the self. So when all distracting factors are slowly removed, when the mind becomes quiet, becomes tranquil, becomes contemplative, then expose yourself to this teaching. What Vedanta teaching is nothing but teaching about the self. Atma avara shrotavya. The only subject matter of Vedanta is Atma, our own self. So it becomes a constant guided meditation, really. Listening to Vedanta class is like guided meditation. What is the subject of meditation? The self is the subject of meditation. Then you can meditate upon by yourself also. But first, with the help of the teacher and scriptures, it puts you, in the course of contemplating upon the self, which ultimately leads to the knowledge of true nature of self. When all your notions about yourself are dropped, amudaha, becoming totally undeluded, you attain that ultimate goal is what? Yourself is a goal. You recognize yourself for what you are. All our false notions about ourselves are dropping off one by one. And when my mind becomes free from all the notions, then I see myself for what I am. I realize that is what I always wanted to be. What I always wanted to be is what I am. What I always was seeking is what I am. That discovery is called reaching the ultimate goal. Having reached where or discovered what? Nothing else needs to be discovered. So what's the nature of that self that Vedanta is talking about? It is consciousness. So first we said, we use the word satyam or the truth. For the same satyam or truth, now Lord Krishna is the word consciousness. So satyam, truth is not out there. Understand that there is only one entity, that is a conscious being, and that is you, or that is a self. It's only, everything else is all object, is all unconscious. So what's the nature of the self? What's the nature of what we call the truth? What is the nature of that root of this whole universe? Urdhva moolam adashakam. That is the most exalted root of the cause of the universe. Is not something out there. So what is called satyam or the truth is itself called jnanam or consciousness here. So Vedanta satyam, jnanam, anantam, brahma. Brahma or Ishvara, God or truth is satyam, truth. Jnanam, consciousness. Anantam, limitless. So that consciousness is now unfolded in the next verse, which we selected here, which is verse number 5. Read that. न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशांको न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. This is a unique way of describing consciousness. What is consciousness? That because of which we become conscious of things. Right now you are conscious of me, you are conscious of the words that are being spoken, you are conscious of things around you. Constantly we are conscious of one thing or the other. So that because of which we are conscious. Not that of which I am conscious of the clock, conscious of microphone, conscious of people sitting in front of me, conscious of space, conscious of time. So what I am conscious of keeps on changing, but that because of which I am conscious, that doesn't change. Like the light. Because of that I am conscious of the flower, of the clock. So the light illumines many things, but that which illumines is one light. Similarly, you can say as though the light of consciousness is because that illumines all the objects with which I become aware of everything, conscious of things. For example, right now I see you and you see me. How do you see me? With your eyes, with the faculty of seeing. So in the Vedantic terms we can say that suppose you are looking at the Swami or seeing the Swami, we can say that your eyes are illumining the Swami. The consciousness emerging from your eyes illumines the Swami. So your eyes or the sight is illumining the Swami. Your faculty of hearing is illumining these words. When can you become aware of the words that are spoken by me? Only when your faculty of hearing illumines those words. You follow? Illumination is revealing. It reveals these words. Makes the words the object of your knowledge or cognition. So you cognize me when your eyes illumine me. You cognize these words when your faculty of hearing illumines these words. So touch, taste, smell, all the objects we are aware of when our respective organs of perception illumine or reveal those objects. Because if eyes are closed, then you cannot see the Swami even though he may be in front of you. Your ears are plugged, then you cannot hear the sound even though they may be there. So first is our organs of perception illumine the respective objects. That is how we become conscious of these objects. Become conscious of colors and forms when the eyes illumine them. We become conscious of the words and sounds when the ears illumine them, etc. Next is what illumines the eyes and what illumines the ears. Is it possible that these words are spoken and still you do not hear them? Is it possible? Does it happen sometimes? If it doesn't happen, then you must be Uttamadhikaris. But very often the words are spoken and we do not hear them because the mind is there. Momentarily our mind goes away into something. Oh, wait a minute, did I lock the door or not? Mind takes off somewhere. That time, even though physically I am here, mentally I am not here, then even though the words fall on my ears, I do not hear them. It's not unusual. Sometimes we are absent-minded and then we don't see what is in front of us. It's right there, I don't see. Where is it? Right in front of you. Children, we had experience. Mom, where is my shirt? Look at that cupboard in the second shelf. I come. I don't see it. She comes, takes me there, and shows it's right in front of you, because mind is elsewhere. And therefore, even though eyes see things, you do not really see them when the mind is not behind the eyes. So the organs of perception illumine, or because of them you become conscious of these objects, but it's because of mind that you become conscious even of your organs of perception. And what is it because of which you become conscious of the mind? Yourself, the consciousness that you are, is what enlivens the mind, that in turn enlivens the sense organs, then in turn illumines the sense objects. And therefore, what illumines everything ultimately? The consciousness that you are illumines everything. This is called consciousness, which illumines, that reveals. Meaning that whatever it is that you cognize or perceive, all requires to be illumined by the consciousness. So consciousness first illumines the mind illumines eyes or ears, etc., and they in turn illumine the respective objects. So everything in the universe requires to be illumined by consciousness. Then question is, what illumines consciousness, Swami? When we say that God created the universe, the next way, who created God? They think that's a very smart question. Who created God? And so the so-called atheists, they ask this question: who created God? Then they laugh at you. They make fun of you. Oh, we say, God is not created. God is always there. God is the cause of the universe, but God has no cause. Uncaused cause, uncaused cause. So they laugh at this. But that is what it is. This business of creation has to end someplace. Otherwise creation cannot be established. Similarly, the business illumination some place which illumines everything else, which does not require to be illumined. Meaning which is self-illuminating, self-revealing, self-shining. So that is called the self or the consciousness that illumines everything, which itself does not require anything else to illuminate. You remember what we say, truth? Truth is that because of which everything is, but which does not require anything else for it to be there, which enjoys an independent existence. Same is thing called truth, which enjoys independence illumination, meaning that it illumines everything, does not require anything else to illumine that. Self-shining, self-existing, self-revealing. So Lord Krishna says the sun does not illumine, the moon does not illumine that, the fire does not illumine that. Meaning what? You don't require sun, moon and fire to illumine. For world you require the sun, moon and fire to illumine the objects of the world. But one that illumines even the sun and the moon and the fire. Now who illumines the sun? You know that? How do we become aware of the sun? When our eyes are open. We can say that our eyes illumine the sun. The sun illumines the world. Our eyes illumine the sun. The mind illumines the eyes. The consciousness illumines the mind. The self, that is you or I, that is consciousness, is that which illumines everything, which does not require in itself to be illumined by anything, which is called self-illumined or self-effulgent, self-shining. Tad dhama. This word dhama means light. So that is the nature of my consciousness, is my nature that illumines everything else, which doesn't need to be illuminated. It is self-revealing. So you and I, so there's only one thing that is self-revealing. You know what? Who is self-revealing? You are self-revealing. Even in the pitch dark, suppose I ask you, hey, who is there? I am there. In the pitch dark, when you cannot even see your own hand, are you there? Yes, I am there. For you to tell me I am there, hey, are you there? Let me see. Should I have to scratch? No, let me see. Am I there or not? What do we need to do to determine that I am? To determine that I am, what do I need to do? Do I need to ask you? Let me ask my wife whether I am there or not. Do I? I may ask. He may need everything else to ask for, but this one thing he doesn't need to ask for, whether he is there or not. Some people ask for everything, It's convenient also. But this is one thing that you don't have to ask whether I am. Because asking can happen provided you are. Understand that. Even this touch, any activity can happen provided you are there to begin with. Is it not so? So how do you know that you are? Tell me. Where you are, you may have to look around. How you are, you may have to think. But that you are, to determine that you are or to determine that I am, what effort is required? How do you know that you are? Tell me. Can you negate one thing one nice meditation will be, if you want to put somebody on a ride, ask him to meditate that I am not. Please meditate that I am not. Can anybody meditate like that? Because for meditating he has to be there, is it not so? This is a very important thing, not an ordinary thing. Looks like a simple thing, but very, very important thing. That I am is what? Self-effulgent, self-existing, does not require anybody to prove that I am. Everything else requires to be proven, but I am requires no proof. I don't need to prove or ask anybody that I am. It is self-revealing. Whether the clock is there or not, I have to look at it and then determine this is there or not. Whether you are there or not, I have to look and see. Whether I am or not, no looking is required, no watching is required, no thinking is required. Because looking and thinking can take place provided I am there to begin with. So I am. It's a self-revealing, self-existing fact. It's a big thing. You know how big it is? It is enough for us to be enough. I am is enough. You know why? Because how big is that I am? What is this boundary? How tall is I am? 5 feet 8 inches? How heavy is I am? 150 pounds? That's your body. Happy, that's your mind. Unhappy, that's your mind. Great, that's your ego. Small, that's your ego. What is I am? If you do not attach anything to I am, then that I am. Also another important thing is the I am that I am experiencing and I am that you are experiencing, are they different I am? The body that I am experiencing and the body that is experiencing are different. But just I am, plain and simple I am. Self-revealing, self-existing. Understand that it is no length, it is no breadth, it is no weight, it is no attributes at all. It is attributeless, formless. It doesn't have shape, it doesn't have form. The body, mind, sense complex has a shape, has a form, has a weight, all attributes are there. I am has no attribute, therefore everybody shares the same I am. You say I am, I say I am. A mosquito also, if it has language, would say I am. Then you add mosquito, then that I am becomes qualified by mosquito-ness. I am becomes qualified by you-ness and I-ness. If you don't add that qualification, we keep on adding something to that I am, and that is all making I am limited. I am is not limited by itself, becomes limited when we join something with that. I am great, but great also is small. I am tall, I am short, I am man, I am woman, I am good, I am bad, I am right, wrong. If you don't add anything to that, I am has no dimension, no weight, no length, no breadth, no attributes, no quality. Which means that there is nothing that can separate my I am from your I am. Two things can be separated only when they enjoy separate qualifications or separate attributes. Is one attribute that differentiates a thing from other thing. Because this object possesses clockness, this object possesses bookness. That's why the two objects are different, because clockness is different, bookness is different. This ness separates one object from the other. I am has no ness, and therefore one I am is no different from other I am. And tell me, what is the true nature of myself? What is the true nature of yourself? What is about yourself that is unchanging? True nature is that which does not change. You say that I am a man, I am tall, but the man is a changing entity, tall is a changing entity, short is a changing entity, happy is a changing entity, unhappy is a changing entity. If you do not attach all these changing entities, the I am, what is about me that does not change? I am happy, I am unhappy, I am good, I am bad, I am right, I am wrong, in all of them. What is it that does not change? I am. Is it not so? Meaning that within me also there is something that constantly changes, but then something that does not change. We say that all changes always require a basis that does not change. So whereas happy, unhappy, good, bad, father, mother, right, wrong, etc., it keeps changing about me, the I am doesn't change. And what does not change is my true nature. What changes is only incidental, is only a costume. That I am puts on a costume becomes happy. I am puts on a costume becomes unhappy. That's all costume. What's our true nature? Very simple thing. I am. That sounds very boring. So yeah, I have a big deal about it. So what? Suppose I am. That is the most interesting thing. That happy and the boring thing you have to remove from that. Because in simple I am, there is no conflict, there is no limitation, there is no complex. There is all freedom because it is self-shining, self-existing, self-sufficient, and something that is common between you and I, something that joins all of us, connects all of us. When I am identified with my body, then of course I am separate from you, who is another body. That separates me, that isolates me. We feel all separated and isolated and excluded, and that's the cause of our lot of unhappiness. If I reduce myself simply to I am, then what? I am not separated from anything. I am one with everything. All sense of isolation goes, all sense of separatedness goes, all sense of exclusion goes, all unhappiness goes. What remains is happiness or freedom, meaning that I am is limitless and therefore also it is of the nature of happiness or freedom. Tadhama paramamama, Lord Krishna says, that is my true nature. He's talking about ourselves. Right now Lord Krishna is teaching, talking to us. Who is Lord Krishna? Our own self talking to us. That is my true nature, meaning that is your true nature. That illumines everything, which is self-illumined. That sustains everything, that is self-sustained. That gives happiness to everything, that is the nature of happiness or limitless. Yad gatvana nivartante, knowing which nothing remains to be known, attaining which nothing remains to be attained. That is called the ultimate goal, the ultimate success in life. A truly successful person is one who has now nothing more to achieve, nothing more to do. So in this verse, Lord Krishna reveals the nature of the self, which is consciousness, which is self-effulgent, illumines everything else, does not require to be illumined by anything else because it is self-illumining, self-revealing, self-shining, self-sufficient, self-existing. That is called truth, and that is called God, and that is called self. That's what Vedanta teaches. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.